we will have to change, like we'll have to go in the middle of it because a flub occurs, like you know, you screw up on the second word, there's no reason to finish. It's not usable. So you just let it go, they go going again, they press the beeps. It's like a rewind, it's like a do-over, it's like a mulligan, and nobody's mad. All they want you to do is be able to succeed, but there's no pressure to be a one and done. All right, someone new.
So on that note, out of curiosity, how long has it, like, what was the longest, like, have you done with it, with the same line over and over, trying to get the right take? What's the longest one, out of curiosity?
It'd probably be torturous to try to remember that. Like, all I mean is, you know, like if I guess I could probably speak to that as sometimes it's like what I just said, where you're starting to get really internally frustrated because it's becoming embarrassing now. This is take 12, and what is wrong with me, and the self-doubt and the self-deprecating and the self-critic is starting to really take root and say, you're bad, you don't deserve this, everyone's mad at you, which just makes me, as like anybody else, start to really shut down.
What sucks is like we are our own worst critics.
Exactly. And so I've had to retrain my own inner dialogue where I get frustrated too. Like, I want to flip tables, I want to pound walls, and luckily they're mostly like soft, baffled walls, but still, how unproductive that has proven to be, because it takes me out of the energy, it takes me out of the zone, and I have to get more and more okay with letting it go. And as a pretty like analytical person, I ruminate a lot, I get like hard on myself, my inner critic is typically berating me into betterment instead of encourage me into betterment. And those are things I've had to like work at with my own personal relationship. Even such things as like, I don't know, self-compassion, self-kindness, like things that I took a long time to start including in my self-relationship because I didn't think you deserved it. I'll be nice to myself when I'm good. What is that about? Like how would we treat our friend or our loved one or our child or our pet if we will love them when they're good? But we do that to ourselves all the time. And so, as just a regular human who had to go through a lot of that, like really, you know, like you're so embarrassed, you feel like you're failing in front of people and that everyone's mad at you, reminding yourself that no, they hired you to be a problem solver, and problem solving is often trial and error and failing forward until you could only solve it because you hit all the banks of what was possible until you could come to a real harvest at the end.
I understand a lot of Japanese voice lines in anime have a lot of like a lot of flowing syllables and like. Is it really hard?
Lost in translation is definitely a thing.
When you have those English, when you have that English script and you have to fit that voice line in the span of what they're lip syncing, is it like really awkward sometimes?
Yeah.
Are you kind of like
we're rewriting
the writers for having wrote it this way?
No, they're trying their best. There's moments where like, whoa. There's way off there, Gary.
There's a certain flow to things, and like sometimes when you finish a sentence, you like immediately have to start the next sentence to fit everything in that space.
Yes.
Is that
part of why dub often doesn't work, and for people that are purists and really prefer subtitles, with original language, is because it's really unnatural. A lot of the times, what we are doing is piecemeal. Like I'll come in and do a line here, a line there, a line there, and a line there, with no context. Maybe no one else has recorded yet, and then someone else will come in, and it's all these puzzle pieces that get put in, and a good director will hopefully have a good sense of flow as to, hey, when Brendan's character says this, it should sound like they are trying to achieve this kind of connection, other than just saying, my line is now! And you get dubs where you're like, fucking unwatchable. Like, nothing against Akira, but that for me was the subs. It saved it in Akira. Like I was trying to watch it dubbed. I'm like, cool effort, bro. But the original, right? Like the original dubbed down back in the 90s or 80s or whatever it was, right? It was just, it was rudimentary and it was all disjointed and nothing felt like connected. And I'm like, it's functional, but I don't want perfunctory. I want to connect with. And so even though I don't understand the language, having it done in its original language as I read the subtitles, my body and mind gets much more aligned when it's done well. And I think good dub work should be noted because when it's done well, it's in spite of all of these challenges. And yeah, having to match mouth flaps, I've seen a lot of dubs lately where I'm like, oh, they don't try. They don't bother trying because it's frustrating. But the ones that do often have to massage it on the day, and sometimes that means the engineer just speeds it up 10% so that it fits, or sometimes we rewrite it and go, you know what, we're saying basically the same thing, but we're going to drop that word or replace it, or just say the same thing in a different way. And that's kind of fun, because then you feel like you're part of the problem solving in real time in the studio with them.
It's hilarious thinking about the speed racer dub, and like they go, I'm going to race and I'm going to turn this corner, aww, and they have to just kind of fill the voice.
Well, it's like the English dub of Ghost Stories.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little creative license going on there.
That's dumb.
So I just noticed that there's like red smudge. Is my nose all red?
No.
No?
Not
Okay.
anymore. Yeah.
All right, not anymore.
Yeah.
All right, back to
I was
you.
wondering if they ever edit the animation itself or the video itself to match a performance and actor rating. So it's like there was
Certainly some product does come and has new censorship laws that need to be re-edited. So famously Sailor Moon, right? So Sailor Moon initially had just a lot more nudity, and so when it was being done for North American markets, and not that I don't think it was gratuitous, but it was certainly noticeable that, oh, okay, so as like, you know, clothing is gone, and those are body parts, and those are more nude bodies, so things were being changed on that kind of a front.
match the like mouth flaps, like a reversal of what.
In most product, the answer would be no. It's more work than it's worth, and with modern technology, there is a lot more agency to be able to change that and go, okay, we've got the action and we've got the character, and then, you know, with algorithms and databases of what mouth shapes are more aligned, there's lots of ways that now, like they'll just sub out certain portions of the screen, like the mouth, but again, that takes more effort and more money, so whenever possible, they just keep the edit locked, and we try our best to help that edit come to life in the new language.
Yeah,
Sure.
One more question. Not exactly about being an actor, actually. In your opinion, as having done, I want to say, doing directing and acting,
Yeah.
what would you say are the do's and don'ts of being a director? Have you ever had a really good experience with a director or a really bad one that you care to share with us?
I think it would always be, if you've got the time, it would always be a benefit to not try to give the actor a line read, but try to give them influence and understanding that will hopefully get them to their own interpretation of what you're hearing in your head. Like, everyone's gonna have that, right? They see the line, they get an instinct as to, it'd be really cool if it was said like this, but it takes a lot of empowerment away from the artist. And we get there in some places. It's like, you know, we do it 6 or 12 times. We're like, do you want to try it a little bit like da 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 da? And then they give you something in that vein, and you're like, finally one that I can make edit and make work. But a lot of times, I think if we stay away from doing that, we don't only get surprised with an artist's great choice, but we get surprised with a choice we'd have never thought of.
I know I'll never be the same. Shook my world so hard again. Wish I washed away my sins. He's a dead man walking.